the price of the Steam machine has leaked. And needless to say, every single one is extremely mad about it. And currently the speculation is that it is $1,000. Which in my opinion is not even that high considering the next generation of consoles for Xbox and PlayStation, who no one will obviously buy because why would you, is probably gonna be a $150 minimum. 2,000 each maximum. Well, at this rate, honestly, everything can change, but I think the Steam machine is still set in a pretty decent position, if the rumors are true.
Would you believe it, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally dealing with the actual ramifications of what Nvidia has been doing to the actual gaming industry. Yes, that was a dad joke. I hope you caught it. Everyone has been seeing massive price increases upon every single component of PC gaming. And we're also getting now to the point where companies like AMD and even Nvidia are relaunching older tiers of hardware simply to satiate any sort of consumer ownership of computing power. And the thing is, they're going to restrict you on every aspect because of that. The big issue with all of this happening right now, though, and how it impacts you and I, is that yesterday, apparently, there was a leak from a website possibly detailing the information of what the Steam machine will in fact cost in this coming year. The thing...
Wait a minute. What do you mean a leak from a website? I thought that Steam sells their stuff on their own store only. I thought that Steam does not, in fact, employ a third party anything to sell their stuff. Every item that is sold on Steam, I think, is exclusively on Steam. So, how the hell can a site actually get this information? I don't think that's possible, unless it was leaked by a Steam employee. It has to be fake. Because no site can get this information because Steam only deals with Steam.
Though, I've got my doubts, and so should you.
Okay.
According to WCCF Tech, the Steam machine
Okay,
price...
so it's fake. It's fake. If it's not a direct leak from Steam, it's 100% fake. Got it. Okay.
They have just been leaked via a Czech retailer. $950.
Yep, Czech retailer. Yes, so it's fake. 100% fake. But again, this price point is probably roughly going to be it. There is no way it's cheaper than $750, and there's, well, again, $150 would be probably the maximum price for it, but that's impossible. If they did, Valve knows if they do it, then no one's going to buy it. So it has to be around 1,000 maximum, and that's kind of it. Otherwise, it's too expensive to compete.
USD for the 512 gig model, $1,070 USD for the 2 terabyte model. I don't know about you, but I'm already throwing my skeptical hat about this into the ring. This really doesn't sit right with me at all, especially the gap in pricing between 512 gigabytes and 2 terabytes in terms of actual storage capacity for this device.
I have no idea about any of these prices. That doesn't seem sus to me at all because I have no knowledge of these things.
Usually on a gap that large, that's what she said, you'll see something a bit bigger. That's also what she said. In terms of price differential between them,
that's something she wishes, but probably is not finding.
These two SKUs. And I think the biggest problem with this kind of information is the fact that no one is checking what is actually going on or digging deeper and running with this as if it's in fact entirely 100% true. But let's see what the article had to say and go from there. With the article stating this, Valve's reveal of the Steam Machine, Steam Frame, and Steam Controller last year was one of 2025's biggest announcements. And while players are
the Diablo 2 music, very nice,
excited about the potential of the new GameCube, one question has hovered above the new hardware like a dark cloud that grows even darker with memory shortage complications. How much will the Steam Machine cost? Well, we don't have official pricing, but a leak from a Czech retailer may have just provided our first indication.
Why would a retailer know anything about the exclusively Valve Valve is going to sell thing? I could be wrong, by the way. I could be wrong. But I'm kind of very sure that Valve sells their own stuff and doesn't give it to Walmart and stuff. I have never heard this.
as to what the latest gaming box will cost. Shared to Reddit's Gaming Leaks and Rumors page by user just.
Oh no, it was shit, dude. Listen, okay? There's two different tiers of leaks. There's Reddit, and then there's 4chan green texts. They're typically not green text, but who cares? Listen, if it's Reddit, someone's just doing it for karma because that's it. Okay, that it's pathetic, and that's it. On 4chan, at least, you know that someone is deliberately deciding to do an uphill battle because everyone's calling it fake, and you know.
Captain, a third-party Czech retailer known as Smarty.cz, has a live listing for the Steam machine featuring two different models. All right, literally right off the bat, I'm going to throw the skeptic hat into this one.
Also, it's the Czech Republic. They're kind of known for, you know, not...
I really don't believe that anybody posting something on Reddit guarantees something to in fact be true, especially from another Czech website from a different country.
By the way, I absolutely love Reddit because of their validity line. Well, whatever they call it, you know, the amount of proof they need for something to be real. I remember once there was this massive Blizzard leak, and the reason why it was real, Reddit considered it real, was because it had the Blizzard stamp on it. No, I'm serious. It was a piece of paper and it had a Blizzard stamp on it, so it must be real.
As well. The reason is very simple. Steam does not
Reddit, never change, you garbage dumpster fire.
Sell directly to these websites. They're mostly resellers, and they'll buy directly from Steam at a markup and then...
Okay, yeah, that does make sense, but that means that they can literally... They have none. No one has been able to buy this. There's no one has an exclusivity deal to get a couple of the pieces of the machine early. They will have to buy it from the website and resell at a higher price if they want.
Sell that product in that country. Now, granted, Valve has increased their production line, especially with the Steam Deck as well. But the thing is, though, I'm going to be very skeptical about this, simply because the pricing seems a bit excessive, even with what's happening right now with DRAM and GPUs. And on top of that, the gap between 512 and 2 terabyte doesn't seem right at all, in my personal opinion. But it turns out there's more to this story, so let's keep going. The first is a 512GB model, which according to the website's source code seems to cost 19,826 Czech, or apparently 950 USD.
Has anyone actually... Okay, question. Has anyone even tried to check the website if it even exists? Because typically people don't check this.
The other model is a 2 terabyte version, and it seems to be listed at 22,000 Czech, or $1,070. It should be noted that these prices are estimates based on a conversion from Czech koruna, and as the post itself notes, third-party retailers could have their own markups, which means the actual retail price of the machine from Valve could very well be lower. And that's exactly what I'm leaning into as well. When you look at the website itself, a couple of things do become pretty apparent. People are in fact going into Inspect Element to try and find the actual code and look into the actual HTML of the website to see what the Steam machine would in fact be priced in that website, seeing as how the listing was in fact posted. Now, there is going to be some grain of truth to the actual listing.
So they actually... Okay. So, if there is a grain of truth... I was not going to say this speculation, but since we're going there, so there is a chance that this site is willingly, it knows, or, you know, not knows, but is extremely confident in the idea that the Steam machine is going to be cheaper than what they are listing. And keep in mind, we don't exactly know for how much the Steam machine gets sold in, for example, in Europe. So maybe it doesn't get sent to the Czech Republic and things like that. There's a lot of stuff like this you need to consider. So if this store can actually buy it, like in America, and get it overseas, maybe they are maybe they're potentially making a profit because they know that no one's going to be able to buy it in the Czech Republic or that part of the world or whatever. So they could be just speculating on that, but that would imply an extreme level of conviction that this is actually, you know, the Steam machine is like, I don't know, 750 or something like that, which is possible, but, you know, press X to doubt.
because of the price, but because of the actual specifications we're seeing on the website itself. And on top of that, things do in fact look rather legit on what this website in fact does, and even reselling on Valve products, because when you see, it turns out they also sell the Steam Deck, and this could be the actual key of what the real price is going to be with the Steam Machine coming out this year. Now, I wanted to do a little bit of digging to find out how much the markup of the Steam Machine could actually be for this website, and what we could probably pinpoint as to the actual retail price of the Steam Machine itself. You see, right now, the Steam Deck OLED, which is the 512GB model on this website, sells for around 15,900 Czech koruna, and that in terms of USD converts to around $765.99. If you want to do the quick maths, what you're looking at is around a $216 price increase from what Valve sells on their own website to what Smarty.cz is reselling for theirs. So you couldn't.
I don't see worldwide delivery. But then again, I don't believe that Valve wouldn't have worldwide delivery. Yeah, and wait, actually, wait, I don't believe Valve wouldn't have worldwide delivery, so why the hell do you even try to resell this?
For theirs. So you could in fact make the estimated guess that by subtracting that $200, which would probably be the reseller markup value of what they get for selling that product, that could be subtracted from what we're seeing online as the price for the Steam Machine 512GB model. And doing that math, you can find out that the total price will be $734, pretty much sitting at my actual expectation of what I thought it would cost when we built the Steam Machine on our own a few videos back, around $750. I think what Valve should do is take a small bit of a loss or hit on that device itself and bring it down to $699. Nice. Which personally would fit directly in line with what you would purchase right now if you were to build a PC with those exact same specifications. Now, you could get a little bit cheaper if you wanted to.
PC specifications don't matter here, okay? I haven't seen the video, but I don't... You can't do it like that because Valve is buying things at bulk. That's one. So that's technically a discount. They're buying straight, which is technically could be another set of discounts. There's so many things, but then there's the workers that are combining this. That you cannot come to the Steam Machine's accurate pricing based on the components that you as a regular person can buy. I don't agree with that. But again, it's the blind guess is 750 based on current trends to 1,000. Again, that's my estimate. We're gonna see what happens.
But the thing is, that's really about where it would normally fit. But if we do the exact same kind of math to the 2TB, here's where things get a little bit tricky as well. If you subtract the 216 from the 1070, you get $854. I feel that's a little bit too close to what we're going to be seeing with 2 terabytes of storage, especially with what the cost normally is when you're in fact going for any sort of SSD. And in reality, you wouldn't even need to get the 2 terabyte model either, because you could on your own just replace the SSD inside of the Steam Machine itself with your own model of what you can actually afford by itself. Do you have to buy the 2 terabyte? Absolutely not. But I feel like even with that price at $854 from $699 or $750, I feel like $100 difference is going to be a bit too close for comfort in terms of what they're going to be charging for the 2 terabyte model. My guess is going to be this: if Valve doesn't take a cut and tries to make a profit, you could see the Steam Machine launch at $749 at the 512 version. For the 2 terabyte, I could definitely see it at something around $899 as well. I think a $250 difference between those two models makes a lot more sense. The thing is, though, like I said before, do not buy the 2 terabyte model.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me because I'm clueless.
Even if the price is in fact lower than what you're expecting to pay, mostly because this system is going to be almost fully modular, and you can in fact replace the SSD on there if you need to with a higher capacity one if necessary. And it's not like the Steam Deck where it takes a smaller form factor version. It'll take a full fat big daddy SSD in there, so don't worry, it's got the space for it. But the thing is, what we're seeing right now are people trying to go through and understand exactly why this is happening. In fact, a few users on Twitter said this: Hajidan on Twitter responded to WCCF Tech saying this: "Firstly, I am Czech, so I have verified and it truly is in the source code. Secondly, the price, especially in the US, will be definitely lower due to import tax and retailer markup in the pricing." And Mischief also responded on Twitter saying this: "I don't know why the Steam Machine pricing rumor is gaining traction, because Valve does not sell their hardware through third-party retailers in Europe. There is no way for this Czech store to know its price before anyone else." And I think I want to make sure that everybody knows this with what's going on. This is in
good take, base take. You know why? Because that's my take. That makes it good.
fact an absolute 100% grain of salt situation. Anyone walking around telling you this is what the price is going to be, that they are guaranteed going to see this kind of price, does not know what they're talking about. And the thing is, everybody's walking around saying that the Steam machine is already dead, even though we don't even have proper pricing from Valve in the
I wonder at the end of the day, will the Steam machine's price actually affect its sales? Is it just going to be a situation? Because I think there's going to be a situation of do console players actually just care about it enough? Because console players don't understand pricing. They don't understand what the hell is inside these machines. They have no idea what 1 or 2 RAM does, if that's even a thing. They don't care. So it's all about, do they actually just want it? I think for us in this discussion, price matters, obviously. For the average person, price matters. But it's gonna, at the end of the day, be just a question of, do people feel confident to buy this because they want the Steam thing already on top of their existing consoles or whatever? That's just gonna be the question. I think that's gonna find a market segment for itself.
The first place. Do I think it's going to be expensive? Absolutely. But I do not think it's going to hit that $1,000 mark. If it does, and I'm wrong, then we are seeing bigger ramifications in the gaming industry, and even more so in the computing space, than anybody could in fact ever imagine. And I think that's going to be the scarier part. I'll take the L if I'm wrong and this thing costs.
Oh yeah, and this is a clear obscure soundtrack.
$1,000, 100%. I've got no problem with that, but I'm going to absolutely turn around and let everybody know, if you think your console, your PC, or any other next-gen system is going to be affordable for you as well, or that these companies are going to take a price cut at all to go ahead and subsidize the cost of these machines, honey, you've got a big storm coming. But the thing is, though, it didn't just stop there. Hajidan, in fact, also found the information for the Steam controller. And it turns out that it comes out to be 1,993 Czech koruna, which when converted
Okay. So, can you not buy these things typically in the Czech Republic? Is that the deal? Because the store would not do it unless... Okay, someone has to be Czech. I mean, we're all Czechish in our hearts. But someone has to actually be Czechish and live in Czechia, right? So, please, can we get, is the currency conversion that Steam does really bad for the Czech Republic? What exactly is the deal here that this store would actually do this? Because from everything I have seen, I mean, I don't know if it's a legit store, truly, but I mean, it seems like they're confident that this is gonna work to get those pre-orders. So what, can Czechs not buy these things because Steam does not deliver to them? I mean, that seems to be the only solution to this, but it's kind of nonsensical. Steam would just find ways to ship it and rip it. I mean, something does not add up. I have no idea what, though.
USD is around $95.33. I could see the controller costing anywhere between $75 and $69 nice dollars. I think that would be the funniest thing ever if they made this.
Bro, it's gonna be $67. Okay, it is what it is. In any case, it's Alex. 10 out of 10. Bye.